Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? I will tell you that I had my cool, proud, I made it moment. You know, when you're a dad and you have a kid, I'm going to tell you right now, what all dads picture is coaching their son in Little League. Like 100%. We're like, we're going to have kids. I get to coach Little League. Like that is it. For the rest of the people that think it's football and their sport, whatever, we're not talking to you. Baseball, the American dream, the national, our national pastime. And yesterday, for the first time, I got to fulfill this dream. I am the T-ball coach for my kids' T-ball, and I got to be the coach. So we get all these little 4 and 5-year-olds together, which has the attention span of a gnat, and we're going to get them all together. So we get them set up. They're all playing catch, running around, chasing butterflies, picking daisies, all that stuff. And I said, okay, it's 4:30, guys. Let's start. Everybody get on the line between home plate and third base. And I got this look from 11 little kids. We don't know. Okay, this is home plate right here. This is third base. We're going to make a line right here. Did not register. The lights were on. Nobody was home. You could tell all the kids were clueless. I said, okay, somebody stand right here and face that direction. One kid runs up. I said, okay, next person stand here. Next person stand here. We did this all for 11. All are all in a row looking good. We're all in symmetry. I stand in front of them and I say, put your baseball gloves down right in front of you. And 10 kids put their baseball gloves down in front of them. And one kid thought I said, throw it like a grenade, because he takes his glove and just flings it across the whole baseball park in the middle of nowhere in the Never Never Land. And I was like, well, you do you. I'm not going to deal with this. So we do the warm up, which, moving the arms, and we start twisting and all this stuff. And I said, all right, guys, now we're going to run the bases. I want to see who knows what. So can everybody point to first base? 4 out of 11 kids pointed to first base. The rest of them looked at the community and went, oh, it must be that direction. And next thing I know, within 5-10 seconds, I have 11 kids pointing to first base. I said, good, that's first base. Where's second base? 3 or 4 kids point. The rest looked at them, cheat from their friend, and then they point to second base. I'm like, all right, now where's first base? All kids point to a different base other than first base. And I said, no, first base. Finally, everybody points to first base. I said, okay, we're going to run from home plate. We're going to make a line behind home plate, and we're going to run to first base. Okay, guys? You guys everybody ready to run to first base? Run to first base. Go. The kids heard, there's a bomb scatter. That's what they heard. Because the kids started running towards center field, third base. One ran to the dugout, and then 4 or 5 kids ran to first base. And I realized that as a father, what I really wanted was to coach the majors in Little League, not T-ball and caps. I wanted the ones where they were pitching to themselves and they could figure out how to play the game. That's what I was looking forward to. So I jumped the gun, but I'm going to, put in my dues, and I'll be the T-ball coach. I'm sure I have plenty more stories to share with you throughout the season. All right, without further ado, I have begged this lady to come on here. She's been a mover and a shaker in the sign industry for quite some time. I want to say thank you very much for coming on to the show. This is Alexandra Lund, known as Alex throughout the industry. She's been on ISA Elite, everything else, and then she has her little tag sign, the Sticker Lady.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Yes, and the Sticker Lady sounds like Bag Lady, and you're killing me with that name because the Sticker Lady is like, no. But your knowledge is way past that. You've been in this industry for how long?
Just about 17 years.
Yeah, that is not just yesterday. That has been a long time.
Every time I say 17 years, I'm like, man, when did I get so old? That's like longer than I was in high school, plus 5.
They started playing some of the music I played in high school at the grocery store the other day. And I was like, this sucks. This absolutely sucks.
Was it the oldies channel?
No, it was not the oldies channel. But you've been in the industry for 17 years. Now, ironically, you were from here. You were from San Diego, where you were born.
So I was born in North Dakota. I came to San Diego after college.
Okay.
I wanted to experience a big city.
Gotcha. And you got all rough and tough here in San Diego. Went back to North Dakota.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right.
And so I went back to visit over the 4th of July. I got all the feels back home. All your friends are there. Everything's going on. I ended up shipping all my things back. And my boyfriend at the time's boss got me a job at a sign shop.
Ah.
And so it begins.
And as we always call it, we always laugh at the sign industry is the mafia. Once you're in, you can't get out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started weeding vinyl. Like I would say 95% of us that have gotten sucked into this world.
Yeah, no, We had the whole back of the shop that we're in now was a dirt field before we asphalted it. And all the signs that we would take down, we would just throw over on the side. Because if you took all the neon guts out of it, you could recycle the aluminum and actually make some money. So when I turned 16, I was not waiting vinyl. I was out recycling. And that was the first year of my life recycling old crappy signs. I think I pissed my dad off in another life because that was a horrible job. And in the middle of winter, aluminum's cold. I don't know if anybody knew that. It's freaking cold. And yeah, not the best.
What is a cold winter in San Diego?
Ouch. You're going to go there. As soon as I said that, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, no, we don't have negative 60 like you guys had.
The newest invention, I think, that's pretty cool is the battery heated jackets and gloves nowadays. You put your like Milwaukee or DeWalt battery pack in your pocket and it keeps your gloves warm or your coat warm.
I do not own any of that stuff, but I would definitely buy stock in that product if I lived in North Dakota. Ugh. All right, so one of the things that I love about you and inspired by you was you sent an infamous email to Lori with the sign, International Sign Association. And if you could walk us through what that email said to Lori.
Sure. I was super passionate about the sign industry. I noticed there wasn't a North Dakota Sign Association, and I just thought, what good does it do for me to be a part of a sign association in a state that I can't get to without flying? It doesn't really have a direct impact on the area that I'm in. And then two, I was super passionate about the wrap world and thought that it was really undervalued on how much ROI wrapping vehicles has for the commercial market, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the sign world. So I saw that Lori happened to be from North Dakota as well, and shot her an email and just saying, "Hey, Lori, I see you're from the home state, and these are some of the things that I'm passionate about, and wondering if you could direct me in the path that could help get me there."
I like it. So basically, why am I a part of this? I'm not going to be a part of this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I'm going to go in, I might as well go all in on that. Not many people do that. I'm going to tell you right now. That just separated you from most of society. They'll check a box. They'll say, "Oh, I'm here. I did it. Yeah, whatever." And then that's it. They actually don't get involved. So I'm pretty impressed that you're making that jump and making that leap. And with that email, what came from that?
So Lori's first off super great. Emailed me back right away, and a little hoorah to the North Dakota area. And she's from a town called Minot, which is right by an Air Force base. And so we chatted a little bit about that. And then she introduced me to a group called the Wrap Task Force. And it's a group of just really awesome humans in the wrap world that they strategically put together to try to influence other wrap businesses or have a footprint in the wrap community.
Now, I will say, and I will painfully admit, I had never heard of the Wrap Task Force until just today when you and I were talking right before the podcast. Can you tell me about that? What is that?
Sure. I believe that there are 7, maybe 8 of us, led by Craig Campbell from the ISA. And so we recently put on, or we teamed up with the Wrap Institute and did the Wrap Summit. And so basically what we do every time we meet is talk about what disruptors are possibly going to come to the wrap industry. How do we help the wrap industry grow in the right ways? Where could the wrap industry use some support from the community and from ISA? And so we recently had the Wrap Summit in Miami, which was just a beta event. We plan to have this event now yearly. And getting wrap businesses together, not just talking about what's new and what's coming out as far as materials, because you can see that at the ISA show and other shows, but really talking about business. Like how do you put money on the bottom line? How do you know there's money in your bottom line? How do you delegate to elevate, I guess?
Yep.
Those types of business practices that maybe you don't typically get from just, browsing a show here or there.
I just want to take a second to tell you that this podcast was created for education and to affect your bottom line. The only thing I ask in return is you share it, you like us, you comment on it, give us some feedback and tell us that we're doing a good job. That really helps make this podcast grow a little bit. So if you can do your end, we'll keep bringing you more information, a lot more knowledge.
It's funny that as a wrap, and when you say wrap, I'm going to guess vehicle wrapping.
For the most part, I think it encompasses vehicles, storefronts. Nowadays you can wrap about anything, it feels like. So we wrap channel letters from time to time. So.
Okay. So basically all vinyls, all different substrates, everything you can to make that pop, make it show, make it gleam more where people's going to catch their eye. You're going to get more advertising dollars put into your customers' pockets. That's the end result.
Correct.
In the way of the vehicle wraps, you were talking about a client that you helped with their rebranding, rebrand all their commercial vehicles, and now he's known for his symbol.
Yes.
And he's known, so when you say wherever he drives, people can see that symbol, know exactly what his product and business is about.
Correct.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's there's a gentleman in the industry, Dan Antonelli with Kick Charge. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. If you haven't, worth Googling. He's really great at branding. He does more of the service industry, like plumbing and electrical, I believe, but has a very distinct look, and that's what he comes in and just does a complete rebrand. And it's just wild, the numbers of the return on your investment for, say, if it's effectively wrapped. Mm-hmm. Not all wraps are created equal.
No, not at all. I will say ours, I give a C- to on our truck. It is blue. It has our name on there, and that's about it. There's no imagery. There's no, well, look at that. You just kind of glance over like, yeah, integrated science, got it. We just move right on back. So now that we've wrapped it, when I look at it, I go, I could have done better. So I couldn't agree more. I hate to say that I'm on the losing side of that. All wraps are not created equal. So you did the wrap task force. And on top of that, you also did ISA Elite.
Yes.
And are you a past member? Are you current?
Past member.
Past member.
Too
Okay.
old now.
And what was the ISA Elites? Because I've heard about this quite a bit. I've seen it, around here and there. But if somebody were to say, Aaron, explain to me ISA Elites, I couldn't be able to pull that off.
Sure. My shortest answer is comparative to like a 35 under 35 in the wrap industry. And I was with the coolest group. The energy was so high. There's really nothing like being in a room with 34 other people that share your ambitions, your drive, your goals to not just see themselves succeed, but see the industry as a whole succeed. And we all have a WhatsApp membership, or we're all part of the same group. And so every single day there's stuff going on. Can someone help me with permitting here? Can someone refer me to an LED distributor for this or that? Or sending photos of just wacky jobs that they've come across and who can help me. And it's like a matter of seconds and someone's got an answer for them. Mm-hmm. And it just goes to show when you get a lot of minds like that together across the country, how fast you can collaborate and do cool things.
I'm kind of jealous. I want to be on that.
Yeah,
now.
It's so cool.
35. And
are you young enough?
No. I just turned 45, so no. Spring chicken days have left me. So the ISA Elites, so the you got to be under 35 to be a part of it, and then you apply for it. They find you.
Yeah, you have to be nominated. I believe you can nominate yourself, or somebody can nominate you. Mm-hmm. And if you nominate yourself, there needs to have a letter of recommendation from somebody else within.
Okay.
And then I believe from there they send them out to board members and et cetera to vote and pick. And then.
All right. So we got ISA Elite. We got the wrap task force. We have your own sign company. You and your partners, you have Sign Co.
Yep.
And you have Sign Co. And then you're not fulfilled, are you?
No.
Not even close, are you? That's the one thing that always cracks me up. Every time we talk, you're like, what am I doing next? What's going on? And you literally are just ready to pounce on the next opportunity.
Yep.
And it doesn't sound like this is something that just started. This has kind of been who you are as a person.
Yep.
Yeah. You find how to make the bottom line better. You find how to make the businesses. I guess you're a hater of inefficiencies.
Yeah, 100%. Like inefficiencies make my brain hurt.
Yeah. So why go through all this stuff? I mean, why be part of the ISA Elites? Why be part of the wrap task force? What's the end goal that you're trying to find?
At the end of the day, I'm just super passionate about helping people, helping businesses, helping fuel success, helping fuel positivity. Mm-hmm. There's nothing more painful for me than watching someone fail that I could have helped succeed. And so for me, in my sign company, it's how do I make processes better? How do I innovate? How do I add new streams of revenue? Things like that. On the sticker lady side of things, it's how do I help someone just be better on business, or how do I empower them to have the leadership skills that they need to take the next step?
The leadership, it's so funny how it comes back to that all the time. And you always hear about leadership, and you're like, okay, well, I told somebody what to do, so I'm a leader, right? Maybe on like a 5% scale, but a true leader is an innovator that says, follow me, I'm leading the pack, let's go this direction. If it falters, don't worry, it's my fault. And a lot of people just don't have that.
Yeah, I see a lot more managers and leaders. And I've always made it my point that I want to be a leader, not a manager.
Yep.
I don't want to dictate people. I want to excite them and get them moving in the right direction. It's not fun for me if someone hates their job. Like, what's the point? You can't beat someone into liking what they're doing. So trying to figure out what makes them tick, what's their favorite thing to do, and getting someone doing what they love doing. I mean, everybody wins.
Now, you with Signco, you did not have a lot of turnover recently. It's all the same employees, but you still chose to do a personality test. Am I correct in saying so?
Yep.
Okay, so you already have a group. You're already working in kumbaya status, and you're like, let's personality test this thing and make sure we're still dialed in. Walk me through that.
Yeah, we're doing the Working Genius, and I really just wanted to see where my whole team was at. I wanted to make sure everybody was in the roles that would be the most successful for them or their personality type. And, we team people up often to go out to job sites to tackle big projects. And if we tackle two starters, put two starters on a job where we could have a starter and a finisher personality together, how much better could that go, and how much more enjoyable could the process be if, the starter had help and the finisher had help? And just applying that throughout the whole company on who can we team up to most effectively do the work and also enjoy it. If you put two starters on a job that's going to take a lot of work to finish, they're probably going to sit there for a while and stare at the wall and wonder, okay, how are we going to do this? How long is it going to take? Where if you had the starter and the finisher's like, all right, let's go. Let's get going. What are we waiting for?
I will tell you honestly, and I'm sure everybody that's listening right now, if you already had a team and you didn't hire anybody new in the last year, would you put everybody through a personality test? I'm going to bet that you're thinking in your head no, because that's what I'd be thinking is no. That's why it's a waste of time. We're already working. But what did that uncover for you?
A ton. I had some premonitions or preconceived ideas of what some people were, and it confirmed that. But then also it showed me some areas that I maybe didn't think that they were going to be proficient at, and it opened up an opportunity of, oh wow, well I could move them here, and they'd probably find more enjoyment since the Working Genius has your genius, and then your middle two, and then the lowest two, and the lowest two you should probably stay away from, but the competencies, the middle one. There's so many areas that were still surprises that I had no idea, that now I can take that and say, hey, how would you feel about doing this little bit extra, or maybe shifting you this direction, and maybe we could make their work life more enjoyable and our efficiencies better.
That amazes me, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous that you thought of this before I did. And I'm definitely going to put this into the path of both companies, Square Coil and Integrated, and I want to see what comes of it. Just what's the personality test, what comes of it, and see where we're at. I mean, as much as I hate to say this, I got to be honest here. I never thought about saying, hey, we're doing well. We got some kumbaya status going on, but at the same time, what if my designer was in project management? What if my project management was back in design and this, and move the pieces? It might make a clearer picture that I never thought was possible. If everybody comes in with a smile on their face, as far as I'm concerned, I check the done box and I move on with my life. And you were like, this is good, but is it great? And that was a great litmus test for your company of, let's just test. If it all comes back the way I thought it was, then great. No one moves, all happy-dory. I basically have a second opinion, so to speak, on the organization of your company.
Yeah, I feel like it also helps on my communication methods with my staff as well. If I understand how they tick a little bit more, I know how to approach it from a little different angle. Talking about the starter versus finisher. If my staff is more of a finisher and I'm getting on their case for not knowing where to start and constantly, wasting time just staring at the wall, well, now I understand going into it. All right, listen, I understand this isn't your strong point. Let's talk about this before you go. So instead, I'm prepping them for the job instead of chewing them out afterwards because it took too long.
I mean, you have kids, I have kids. That works way better. That works way better to kind of lead them at the beginning versus browbeating them at the end.
Yeah, they just stare at you like,
Yeah.
what are you even talking about now at this point?
Yes. Yeah. And with kids, you know, they have that 5-minute rule. It's out the window and they have no clue what you're talking about. Sorry, different topic, changing tunes. I love it. I really do. I love that whole thought process and getting a second opinion without having to pay the crazy consulting, you know, because some people come in and will revalue your company and redial it in, but they got to live it and breathe it for months. And that comes with a hefty paycheck. And sometimes they're going to come back and go, you're doing a great job. You're like, really? That's what I paid you for? And this is a great litmus test. That's not a lot out of pocket and doesn't bring your company down. But I just think it's great. I couldn't say enough good things about it when you brought it up and we're talking about it. Just really, really good idea. The future. Where do you see yourself? This is an interview, so I'm not going to say where you see yourself in 5 years. But I want to ask, where do you see yourself going with all these different, you know, connections that you have and what's going to happen there?
I would say in the last 5 years, it's been so wild at where life has taken me that if I try to predict 5 years from now, it's probably unsuccessful. I'll probably end up in all kinds of areas that I didn't even know were a possibility at that point in time. But for right now, my end goal has been kind of moving into the sticker lady consulting side of things, more of leadership training and empowering those in the sign world to lead better, to understand business a little bit better. You know, I spent about a year just really focusing on what is going to make me happiest, like what could I do forever and not get tired of, and unfortunately for everybody that's big into the big sign side of things and the boom trucks and the service, I could do without that. It's not my favorite. So that wasn't my forever. What could I do that I could retire and do and not feel like I wanted to retire? Like that's what I could do as a retirement. And so the consulting was really where my heart went. Is I just really at the end of the day find most fulfillment from helping.
So we are kindled spirits in that regard. And I will honestly say that it was funny because you and me both kind of picked apart some of the inefficiencies at the restaurant we were at. People kind of look at that going, this could have been, that could have been. And we just kind of laugh at each other because at the end, even though it sounds like we're nitpicking and bitching, really we're just like, you could have more money to your bottom line and you could have offered a special, you could have done something else. You could have been more wealthy. You could have given bonuses to your employees if you had done these little tricks. And so you and I see the world in that way. And, you know, as much as my fiance looks at me sometimes and goes, would you shut up and just enjoy the moment? It's really hard to turn that brain off.
100%.
Yeah, it is. And so for you to say, okay, if this is where my brain is 24/7, I might as well meet people that can help them hit their bottom line and help them grow. We see it all the time in Square Coil. People come to us all the time and say, hey, we run into the software. And we say, well, we do costing. Let me show you. And they go, well, we don't do costing. No, we don't care about that. I know, right?
It's crazy.
Both of our heads are all like, there's just, how, what, no.
Why would you spend time doing something that you don't know makes you money?
Yeah. You could be chasing your tail. You're really tired when you're done at the end of the day, but you didn't get anywhere.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. And yet we're seeing that over and over again. So when you see that, obviously you're going to stand up and you raise your hand and be like, excuse me, you need to get some help here. I like to see you help them with that charge because a lot of people, you know, hate to say it, but they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
You know, it's interesting. So I wish you all the endeavors and all the luck on that one. Because it's good. It's going to be good. It's going to be rough, but it's going to be good. And, you know, luckily in the sign industry, there's no ego. So you don't got to worry about that.
No, none at all.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
Might be a slow start for the sticker lady working through those, but.
Yeah. Well, I will say that you got one thing for you. You're female. You can smile. And the guy's like, oh, okay. I walk in as a guy, I'm like, this is wrong. They're like, you leave now. Like, I'm like, oh God, here we go.
You know, it's funny because it's such for the longest time, such a male dominated industry that I would show up to do people's signs or wraps in the past when I had young in the industry and they'd be like, did they send the intern over today or who are you or what? You know, like you can't be the person coming to do my signs. But 17 years in, I feel like they're finally trusting me a little bit.
Just a little bit,
Just
right?
a little bit.
Yeah. I do laugh. I'm not going to lie. We're one of the few barbaric industries that are still left.
Yep.
You know, and I started working with Dad's shop in the 90s, in the early 90s. And I remember the crane truck coming back and they'd open the door and the empty beer cans would fall out of the crane truck.
Heard stories as such.
Oh yeah, no, that's how it was. And the guys would come back, it's got all done, we're good. You know?
Right.
And then they'd sit out by the crane truck, finish the last of the 6-pack that they hadn't drank, and then get in their cars and drive home. And that was daily. That was normal. I will never forget when California said you can't do that anymore. Oh, the uproar from the install team back in the day. Whew.
They're like, I wore my harness. What do you care? I was drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Fell out of the bucket. I'm fine.
Oh, it was those days. So, lots changed, but at the same time, a lot has not changed.
I think that's the cool part about business, right? Is you can continue to innovate in specific ways, but it all comes back down to the same fundamentals, same foundations.
It does. It really does. I'll give you that one all day long. And for you and I, we couldn't agree more of the bottom line. If we're going to go to work, make sure we're making as much money as possible so you can turn around and give it to whatever you want to. I mean, your team, your favorite charity, whatever. But at the same time, the last thing you want to do is spin your wheels and find out you're not being as efficient as you could be.
100%. And I don't want to make it sound like everything is about money, but at the end of the day, taking care of your staff, making sure you talked about, full paid insurance for your staff, things like that. You need money to pay for those things. And if you're going to cause stress and chaos within the shop to try to get all these things done, how terrible to know that you're going through all that at the end of the day. Well, we actually didn't make any money on any of that. So everyone that was stressed out this week to try to meet these deadlines was just for fun.
Yeah, it was all for naught.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the saddest. And I agree with you. It does sound like all about the money in that time, but you're right. It's what it takes. It's what makes it spin around. It was a proud moment for me when I gave full medical to all my employees a year and a half ago and just said, it's 100% paid. Dental, 100% paid. Like we're not playing these games anymore.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a neat moment, and I want to get more people to that status where they can. When I was younger, no matter what job I had, medical was paid. I thought it was that's what it was. And when we got older, I was like, oh, that's not a guaranteed perk.
Yeah, right.
I had no idea. I was like, oh, this hurts. And so to take that back was pretty neat. Well, I wish you all the success that you have been so far, and I can't wait to watch your journey as you continue on with all this. Thank you for coming on and chit-chatting with us for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. You
are welcome. And for the rest of you guys out there, if you want to get a hold of Alex and learn more, there's Signco, and then what social media are you mostly on?
LinkedIn and Instagram, I would say, are the most.
Okay.
Instagram is thestickerlady.co, and then LinkedIn.
Cool. Find out more about that and all that she knows with the RAP task force and all that insight. I'm sure she's got some great knowledge for you. And we'll talk to you next week.